what are their beliefs about baptism? I've heard some interesting things about baptism. Could you speak to those issues?
Sure, yeah. Baptism is very important. The Mormon Church teaches that the baptism is one of the principles and ordinances of the gospel. It's essential to full salvation. But for the baptism to be valid, it must be, again, baptism by someone having the priesthood, the Mormon priesthood. So if you get baptized as a Presbyterian or as a Baptist or as a Methodist or any denomination, that baptism does not help save you. And baptism is necessary for full salvation in Mormonism. So for those who never had an opportunity to get baptized by a Mormon, for example, if you lived during the 1500s or 1600s when supposedly there was no true gospel on the earth, or even today, if you live someplace where the Mormons have never knocked on your door and offered to baptize you, if you die and you never had an opportunity, everyone goes to a temporary place called Spirit Prison. And I was told that Mormon missionaries will visit you in Spirit Prison and offer you the gospel there. And if you accept the Mormon gospel after death in Spirit Prison, then you can receive the benefits of what's called baptism for the dead. And this is what I did in the Salt Lake City Temple in Utah. I was dressed in total white from head to toe. I was ushered into a room that had a gold baptismal font supported by 12 golden oxen. I stepped down into the waters of baptism there in the Salt Lake City Temple and was baptized, not for me. I'd already been baptized. I was baptized for and on behalf of a number of dead people. One of them was named Frederick Jones. They immersed me in the water and brought me out of the water, and they would give me another name, and I'd be baptized for a second name, and then a third name of all dead people. And I was taught that if these dead people had received the true gospel, the Mormon gospel, in Spirit Prison after death, that the baptism for the dead applies to them and helps save them from their sins. So they don't only do baptism for the dead in the temple, in the Mormon temples around the world. They're also doing marriage for the dead, where living Mormon couples by proxy will take on the name of dead couples to be sealed for time and all eternity in elaborate marriage ceremonies. So about 90% of what happens in the temples around the world, which I'm trying to think where the one closest to you guys might be, maybe in Kentucky there, but there's about 130 temples in the whole world, and you have to be baptized for the dead in one of these temples. About 90% of what happens in the Mormon temples are actually proxy works for the dead.
And that then is why the Mormons keep such good genealogical records. Right.
They maintain the world's largest genealogical library, basically records of dead people, tens of millions of names of dead people there in Utah. And those names are sent electronically. They have a satellite system, and they're sent by satellite communication. Those names are sent to computer terminals in all the 130 temples. And those names of dead people show up on the monitor right there by the baptismal font. And, there's lines of people, in line waiting to be baptized for the dead. And, you have to put yourself in my shoes. I'm thinking I'm really helping these dead people.
Yes.
And, of course, now I know that baptism won't even save a living person, much less a dead person. We're saved by grace through faith from what Christ did, not by any of our good works.
Well, James, our time is quickly running out here. It's just amazing how fast this morning has gone by. Now, you have a website. Tell them about how, if they want to get more information about this and other alternative faith movements, how they can contact you.
Yeah, we have a website, www.watchman.org, and there's an opportunity to get a free subscription there to our bi-monthly profiles. We have information on Jehovah's Witnesses, Mormonism, Christian Science, the Way International, the occult, and a bunch of other things as well.
Well, James, we have about 4 minutes here left in the program, and I'm just going to let you speak from your heart this morning to those who are listening, and just share your faith and whatever's on your heart this morning that the Lord would lead you to say here in these last few minutes of our program to all our listeners who are listening this morning.
Sure. I would just encourage our Christian listeners this morning The Mormon people are not our enemies. These people are our neighbors. They're our friends. The Mormon missionary knocking on your door is not the perpetrator. They're the victim. And except for God's grace, any one of us could be that Mormon. We could be that Jehovah's Witness. We could be the Muslim. We could be the Scientologist. So we need to have compassion and empathy for these people. We need to do a little bit of homework so that we're prepared. That's what our website's about. We want to help you get ready to be able to share your faith. And just put yourself in the shoes. If you were the Mormon knocking on the door, what would you want your Christian friend to share with you? And if we would have that kind of friend, like I said, I was fortunate I had some Christian friends who loved me. But Jerry, to be honest with you, I had a few bad experiences too with some Christians, that were really kind of hateful. But that was for me. That was the exception. Most of my Christian friends were very understanding, very kind, very patient with me, and they built that bridge of relationship so I could see Christ in their lives, and they could share with me things from the Bible and even things from the Book of Mormon I had never considered before. And they built a friendship with me, and one of them was the founder of our ministry, Watchman Fellowship. He helped me when I was at a real crossroads in my life spiritually. And I remember what it felt like when I needed help. And I always try to remember that when I get that phone call or email of somebody who is at a crossroads where I was many years ago. I remember what that feels like. And so let's help our Mormon friends. Let's reach out to the Jehovah's Witness neighbors. Let's try to help those involved in Islam and Scientology. And this is what our ministry is going to help you do. So that's watchman.org. And then there's right there on the homepage, there's a place where you can ask for a free subscription. It's free. And we have literally hundreds of articles there that are free that you can read and get more information.
Well, thank you, James. I can sense just talking to you over the phone, the love of Christ coming through your voice, and you really sense your heart here and the love for all of His people. And as Christians, we're called to share our faith and love, and to contend for the faith that's been handed down to us in a loving way. And we just appreciate that. We want to remind folks that you will be on Dr. David Reagan's program this upcoming week, I believe. Is that correct?
I don't know if I actually have the time for it. Just real quickly, there's a false prophet that's making the news right now named Harold Camping, who's predicted that the rapture is going to happen in a couple of weeks, May 21st, 2011. This man's already made false prophecies about 1994, and we have information on our website about this man, Harold Camping. He's the founder of Family Radio, which is a large Christian radio network here in the United States. And I'm going to do the program. I've already recorded it for Lamb and Lion with David Reagan. And if you go to the Lamb and Lion website, I think it's lambandlion.org, you can basically get the schedule of when that's going to air.
Yeah, I believe that's airing May 1st is what I looked on.
May 1st, great.
May 1st is this upcoming week there, and so our listeners can watch you. They've heard you this morning, but they have the opportunity to watch you on Dr. David Reagan's Lamb and Lion program as you talk about the false prophets of the rapture happening on May 21st. Well, James, we appreciate you taking your time to be here, and may God bless you in your work.
Thanks, Jerry. God bless you, too.
Well, thanks for